in the film is no one really reacts to the news of JUNO in a way you'd expect. I mean, wanted to ask J.K. and Allison if it was exciting to play these sorts of the parents who do not do what parents usually do when they get this news.
That was one of the first things that really jumped out at me about the story was because being a dad also. I thought that was just such a great reaction to that news. That both of us, to be flabbergasted, but not. I guess the expected response is, Dad's going to be mad because he's dad, and I just thought it was one of the many fascinating quirks of these characters that drew me to it.
Stepmother, even though their relationship is a little. I think he's more interesting than it's a little strained in the beginning. She's not an evil stepmother, she's very supportive, and actually you're kind of like, you're happy for JUNO that she has a mom like me.
Well, Diablo, that was one of the things that was really important to you in writing the screenplay, wasn't it?
I myself am a stepmother of the non-evil variety, so I thought it was time to bring that bold new character into the world of cinema, a nice stepmom.
Screw Cinderella.
Yeah, screw that. It's old school, man.
I think there's definitely a big reason why the film is so appealing is because you don't have anyone sort of emerge as some sort of like villain who's going to sort of. I mean, there's a real generosity of spirit, and everyone sort of has moments of, when they're maybe not behaving at their best, but they're not. No one goes negative, which I think is a really appealing thing. People actually, and the reactions feel quite true. I guess for Jason Reitman, was this something to be? Was it exciting to have a movie where you had such a rich, array of characters who, weren't all, none of them who were actually sort of play as you expect.
Yeah, that's what I liked about the screenplay. I was in the middle of writing my next movie when I read JUNO and fell in love with it, and I just had that feeling like I couldn't help but direct this movie. And what excited me about it was the same thing that excited me the first time I read Thank You for Smoking. Thank You for Smoking was a book about a guy who was the head lobbyist for Big Tobacco, but it didn't villainize him. It just kind of treated him as a normal human being, and that's what kind of made it funny and relatable. And that was the same with this. Here was a screenplay about teenage pregnancy, and yet it didn't choose to judge any of the characters and did not turn anyone into a villain, but rather let each person react in a human way. It's funny because you bring up the idea of the parents reacting so strongly, and I can't imagine actually parents, and maybe I just had really lovely parents. I had wonderful parents, but I imagine the first thing that would go through your mind isn't to smack your kid, but just to take that in, it's overwhelming news, and start to try to reason through, okay, how is this going to affect our life? How is this going to affect our daughter's life? And it seemed that every time a character had a decision to make or even a line to say, Diablo had chosen an interesting, unique, honest way to either deliver that scene or that line of dialogue or establish a character, and that was on every page, and I think that's why you see all the people up here today.
Yeah, it's lovely. That's the thing. Like, I think that there's, everyone, it's an ensemble piece, but everyone gets these sort of lovely moments and unexpected moments too. I guess also I wanted to ask Olivia and Ellen if it was appealing to sort of see get a script about sort of teenagers, a lot of teenage characters who, were treated in a way that wasn't sort of a one-note thing. And also to actually see a high school sort of milieu.